Welcome back, fam. I got another one for you against Red Crayons Enjoyer. This was a friendly game. We were just kind of playing around with divs. He was learning third. I think he was maining third at this point. He was playing a bit of it, but we were just playing around with some stuff. It was a very fun kind of tank v tank matchup and game, so I wanted to share it. I learned a lot from playing it and watching the replay back, so I figured I might as well share. I think this is a pretty heavily 11th Cav favored matchup. Plays similarly to 79th, but even slower. Whereas third is going to pump out Bradleys, M1s, and HAs. They get mediocre AA. They get a really good fighter. Their fighters outclass mine by a lot, but they only get 4. They don't get long-range radar AA, so the IHawks are huge for helping me secure the air. They get the same tanks, better tanks. They get the HAs, which will dumpster my M1s, and then they get the same, if not more, amount of M1s. But the big issue is that they get Bradleys and Bradleys and Bradleys and Bradleys and Bradleys and Bradleys. They will print out Bradleys, and I will not be able to keep up if I let them run the Bradley printer over and over and over. So the advantage that we've got the ACAV, we've got better recon Bradleys, we have better slot layout for planes, we have better strike planes, we don't have better helos, but they're cheaper. He gets a ton of Apaches, and also a problem in the late game. If this game goes late, I'm in trouble. If I can't trade up effectively and keep tempo on my side, and he prints out Apaches, HAs, and Bradleys, I have no chance. So I need to use the early recon, use my air, use my tempo, and get as many points and the game in like 20 minutes, 25 minutes as effectively as possible. Because if this goes late, I'm in deep trouble. Especially with an super open map like this. I'm just going to get ground down by a better tank div. So we'll fast forward until the game starts. You can see, go over deployment real quick. LRS is pushing up here. I know that this is my most important zone. I'm going to try to get control of this, because if I can win this and push him out all the way to the back, then he's in trouble. I don't really want to bother with this. I'm not even going to send any units up here. I want to get control of this area so that I can kind of just control this whole part of the map and then see where that goes. So I've got a scout pushing down. I've got a scout checking this just to see if it's free. If it's completely empty, I'll send a CV just to cap it on my own. ACAV pushing up into the open. We've got 2 Bradleys, 1 here to cover this side, 1 here to cover this. This can also fire support units that pop up into these buildings. And then a scout over here with the AGL truck in the woods, just to prevent any weird shenanigans from him just driving down there or throwing recon in there. 3 OH-58Cs, because these are my favorite unit in the game, I think. Just covering the opener if he decides to buy a plane, or if he decides to buy an early Apache or something like that. An early Apache with a recon helo would really screw me up. Stinger, Panzergren with the Martyr over here. Again, shoot ATGMs through here. That's a good sightline right there. Control this side with ATGMs, fire support anything in the middle. It's just a useful unit to have over there, and it's cheap. Engineer's Dragon to hold the middle, and then another Engineer also for the middle. This was an overcommitment into the middle. I should have sent one of these units out here. But again, people call this the bad side. It's definitely, I guess, worse, just because the other side can get their units in here if you have equal speed, which we don't. I have FD, not concerned with it. So let's get this one going. Okay. As you can tell, he starts with an Eagle, which I don't hate it as third, but that is an expensive plane. So you're a slow div, and you're putting yourself on the back seat immediately, because that's a 280 point plane. That's a tank. That's an Abrams you could have brought out. So I get it. He's worried about A10 openers and stuff like that. Again, he's got super slow scouts. He buys the seed early. I guess he was prepped for an IHawk. Not the greatest. He's trying to dive. Maybe he was just looking to dive helos. But again, don't dive these OH-58s from the front, dude. They will kill your ASF if there's multiple of them. Just don't do it. It's not worth it. So we've got the LRS is moving up here to get vision. My Bradley fires first, and I've got the ACAV over here. Dead recon Bradley. Huge opening trade. Immediately move the LRS up to start getting tempo, because that's one of his major units that he doesn't have now. LRS stops the dismount on the scouts. and sees that we've got 2 Bradleys in a tank pushing up the middle. Immediately move my Bradley over here so that I can start firing, get control of this over here, and prepare the ACAV. I wasn't sure if this was a Bradley or an M150 at this point, so I didn't want to drive the ACAV into it, but now I'm pretty confident that I can win this. We've got ATGMs firing. This crossfire is super helpful. I don't know why I smoked that. This is dangerous, as you can tell. My Bradley evaporates because he has a tank pushing straight into the middle. But again, I have the ATGM crossfire here. I've got the Dragons in the middle. I've got the tanks over here. I've got another Bradley if I need it. We take out the M150, slowly pushing up. We move the CV over to get the cap over here, completely ignoring this zone. We've got an Eagle and an AT plane up, or not an Eagle. We got an F-16 just covering in case anything silly happens. AT plane is looking for these Abrams, but they're spotted. It's being seen by the Eagle on his end. This was overextension. Probably just forgot about it. Does it die? Almost dies. It dies. Okay, but IHawk, OH-58s, and an F-16. There goes his Eagle. That's positive trade. 280 points versus 245 points. It's an important unit for me, but getting rid of his Eagles is a win condition in itself. Pull these guys back to stop getting fire sported. I've got this over here ready to peek out if I need to. And I'm at this point, I'm thinking, all right, so he's got 3, 4, almost 500 points of units in the middle here. I've killed a Bradley, some recon over here. Like, there's no way he has anything left. So I'm immediately moving up the LRS. I see the Apache, so I'm pulling these units back, and I'm just driving my Stingers forward. I bring up my OH-58 just to clear space for these units. I need an ASF. The Sea Knight's going to help me deal with the middle here because he has no AA. I didn't know that he had no AA, but I mean, the Sea Knight's going to find out. Nothing shot at my OH-58s yet. This is going to fight off the Apache valiantly by firing 2 missiles and not killing it. This is a good crossfire for the middle. The M1A1 should have been either pushing up on the flank or pushing into this crossfire here. But again, the LRS is in a good spot. Now I just need to handle this. He drives his M1 right into the AT, which is a big mistake. But I can understand where he's coming from with the pressure. He's just playing too quickly. You don't need to feel pressure as third right now. You're only down a +1. You're really not in a bad spot. Just slow down, take your time. You've got an Apache up, you've got a tank up. Just repair all this. Take your time, build your tanks, and win later. Don't need to play early like this. Every unit you lose is a major tempo hit. By another Phantom dies to a 40 or 60 point AA helo. Huge trades in the air so far. We've killed a Seed, we've killed an Eagle, and we've killed an F4, all for an AT plane and an OH-58. So that's like 800 points, 750 points for 300 points. Huge trades in the air. These are completely useless. He lost another one. They're stunned down. The Sea Knight's doing work. You know, he's in a rough place right now. Speed it up a little bit because it's kind of slow. The Apache is doing work, but it drives into IHawk range. I've got Stingers around. I want these to be close because I know the only thing that's going to stop my push over here is an Apache at this point. And it's time to start the M1A1 printer. We shoot down another Eagle. That's really bad for him. We clear out the Apache because I just saw the Eagle die. We start pushing him out of the middle here. You know, he's not in a good spot. That was silly. I thought I could get up here and get better ATM, but then, alas, there was an ITO. We move the Abrams up. We start pushing up over here. We can slow it down now. We start pushing up over here. I see the HA. ATGMs engage. So now I know there's an HA, but it's stressed. I'm not super worried about it. I start pushing my own Abrams up. I lost an F-16 to the F-15, but then I pull 2 more F-16s out and go after the Eagle. I don't think I kill it. But we've got the ASFs to help control the air. He only has 2 of these left. I have 3 more AA planes. He drives the Bradley into the LRS. I don't know if he just didn't expect it to be there or what, but needed scouts here first, or to lead with this. The Sea Knight pushes up because, again, I see everything that's here. There's no AA here. Abrams got kind of clapped, but again, I have tons of supply. I can just pull this back, heal it up. I've got loads of pressure over here. I'm trying to find the HA because I don't want to drive my ACAV up and just let it die to an HA that I can't see. This mech rifles is super helpful. This is going to be mega annoying. Start moving other units up. I'm trying to find this M1 and kill it with my own, but again, we're both kind of sitting at like 4 HP. So it's not great. Pushing up my own ACAV. Just killing what we can. Every stinger, every supply, all those little units add up when it comes to this kind of stuff, because he's got to buy them again. Buying more stingers, buying chaparrals. You know, these are not stopping my ACAV. These are not stopping my M1s. These are just preventing my air. And I already have a good amount of units on the ground. So everything he's buying that doesn't stop my ground units is wasted against my real push. Not waste, but, you know, it's not great. Now, this was hilarious. He put this in my back line, and this thing killed 2 M1s at some point because I just completely ignored it. This was my first game on Black Forest with 11th Cav, and I'll never let that happen again. It immediately triple up fed M150 from killing an Abrams. So I should have even been, you know, 2 more tanks up on the front lines here. Again, he's diving the Eagle over the Ihawk. You just can't. You just can't. That's too aggressive of a play. I don't know if I pull out more fighters to kill it. I don't. But it's going to fly back into Ihawk range. Maybe. Yep. Fire another... Oh, it's reloading. Okay. But, again, wounded HA. Got a Sea Knight up. Firing at his tanks. Pushing him back. The LRS is all the way up here now. Getting an idea of what's going on. And I still don't see anything. I see no units here. I just see these two, the tank and the recon. I'm like, okay, cool. Let's drive our tank up. Nothing to worry about. He's got another Eagle up. Even less. We deal with this in the back line there. That hero M150. And we're just, you know, we've got this controlled. This is annoying because he can't drive tanks in here now if I control this building. I'm walking infantry up here just to scout. I've got scouts all the way up. I've got an AGL back here. Again, this would have been easy to take if I wanted to. I didn't know it was there. Wasn't concerned about it. I was trying to control the strong part of the map. I don't really want to contest up here because he has Bradleys, and the only thing I can use is mortars and tanks, and that's not a good place for either of those. I see the double chaparral. Again, I'm just taking ground slowly and methodically. I move the recon up. I see what he's got. I move the ACAV up to a position that'll make it annoying to remove. I should have had a Bradley defending it, but... Tank over here, martyr over here, supplies go into the Ihawk. Oh, the supplies moving all the way up. That's a little ballsy. But pushing this up just to see what's going on over here. I landed the Sea Knight so it didn't get shot by the Eagle. I'm trying to create pressure over here. I also want to see if it's free, which it is. The Eagle's doing a good job of keeping me from just walking up. But as soon as I start printing tanks, it's going to be trouble. He dives the helo. 3 F-16s show up. Goodbye, Eagle. There's no chance. Now I can just drive the Sea Knight up. Again, we lost an Eagle for a 45-point recon elo. Not a good trade. And now he only has 1 Eagle left and some chaparrals. So the air spam is about to get real on his end. We've got an Abrams. We've got the ACAV. We've got a third Abrams on the way. He has 1 Abrams and a 40% HP HA. With a Bradley, some more Bradleys. And again, he's doing a good job. He is printing out Bradleys. He's just not keeping stuff alive. He just needs to keep stuff alive and not feed. And he would be dominating in 5 or 6 minutes. If he had, think of it, if he had that recon Bradley, the 2 Bradleys that threw away in the middle, the Bradley that died here, and then HP on this, he would be in a significantly better spot, especially having killed 2 of my tanks back here. We get an RDP up. I think I'm going for, yeah, so we're going for the ITO. I can see it because of the scouts. I want to clear that ITO out just so that I have the ability to play with my armor out here. I pull these scouts back as soon as I start seeing them getting shot at. I have a Jaguar coming up to control this area. I will move it up once I see it's clear, but it's not because of the Bradley. I'm going to kill the ITO, or shoot the ITO at least. I don't know if it dies. It doesn't. Get it on the second next shot? Nope. Okay. But still, the game plan is this over here. He's got some units in here. I'm not super concerned with it. I'm worried about getting more tanks to this side of the map and pushing all the way to this back zone. We're going to speed up while we're just kind of chilling here. We'll see what purchases we've got. Another Jaguar. And it's coming up here. Again, really strong ATGM units. Another IHawk. I don't really know why. I might not have been keeping track of how many Eagles I've killed at this point. Second IHawk is definitely not that important. Would like to see Stingers instead. He starts flooding engineers into the city. I guess he thought I was going to push infantry in. So that was an interesting engagement. He pushes the tank up to fire on the anti-dragons, and my tank immediately gets a side shot. Or maybe even just front shot. But my tank fired at his tank fired at my infantry, right? So my tank gets the shot off, which puts his on stress and damage, which means my tank will win the fight. I've got an Abrams over here. We've got an IHawk covering it. We've got a Bradley moving up. And now the mech push on the south is a real threat for him. We're stabilized. We've got the build-up. He does not have the build-up. He's got some Bradleys. But again, all of his stuff's going into the city because I'm threatening this just enough to be annoying. We've got the Sea Knights clearing stuff out because I don't see any AA. Scouts are moving up just to be annoying. Stingers here. Everything's just covering itself. And at the same time, this isn't... I'm just testing this. I don't know what he's got. I don't know, you know, again, pushing the tank up to fire on the Abrams after it shoots the infantry. Make him pull it back. Make him pull it back. I've only got one tank here. And it's doing work, keeping things under control. Pushing it that far up was dumb. But now I start pushing on this side because I see tanks in there. I haven't seen a unit over here in forever. I've got my LRS I've got another LRS coming up here. I'm not going to allow him to ambush me with ATGMs from either side. So now I have a clean area in the middle to play with my tanks because I have recon on both sides. I have Stinger. I have an OH-58. I have an IHawk. Everything here is where I need it to be to attack. I could use some more infantry, but this is such an open area, I don't really need it. The only thing I need is a CV tank, which hopefully I buy soon. And I could use the CV I have if it's still alive. It's not. Not a surprise. Oh, it is. It's right there. But I don't know if it'll be alive for very much longer, though. Lots of stuff here. AT plane comes in, takes out an M1. Oof, I thought that was going to take out a Bradley. The IHawks are keeping the airspace clear for my F-16 if he dives it with the Eagle. He should be firing off the AMRAMs because he doesn't need to dive it with the planes that I've got. Chaparrals are firing now that I know they're here. The LRS is moving up. The Jaguar is in control. Abrams, Bradley, ACAV are all ready to fight. All of them start opening up on his units as soon as he pushes in. A-10 and the F-16 are both doing work over here. LRS is in this forest now. He'll never get this forest back, and it's GG. He knew I had too much of a push on this side for the game to last much longer. It was a good one. I think the ACAV did ACAV did some good work. It killed the M1 HA. Did some good work in the opener. Yeah. Right on. Hope you guys have a good one. I'll catch you guys later.